Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, a free way to support the channel is by leaving a thumbs up, by leaving a comment, by leaving 2 comments, or as many comments as your heart is telling you to leave. Thank you to all the multiple comment people. And subscribing if you have not already done so, as it does indeed help with the algorithm. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. There's always something happening within the cryptocurrency space. The cryptocurrency space is never boring. I know I say this all the time. It's because it's absolutely true. We have gotten to the point where the news is no longer like tiny things. It's like absolutely monumentally, oh my gosh, what in the world is happening within our space news. For those of you who have not been paying attention to the news, roughly around the last 12 hours or so, the cryptocurrency market has begun to surge once again. There are about 5 things that took place within the last 10 hours alone, at least at the time of me making this video. Maybe some new fantastical news has popped up since then. 5 things that have been taking place, and only one is really being attributed to the actual rise in the cryptocurrency market, which I find a little weird, if you will, because it should be all of them, and Bitcoin once again should not be below $100,000. And even more so, I know it sounds like a broken record, but look at all the stuff that we've been talking about every single video. It's not like a little bit of adoption. Like, it's always like a huge, massive tidal wave, and everyone's like, I got a little wet. I mean, it's fine. You know, Bitcoin still shouldn't be going up. But anyway, that's my own personal opinion as to where things should be. So we are near a $2 trillion market cap for the entire cryptocurrency market. There are a lot of articles from major news outlets discussing how big our market is getting, how we are, I think, we are near or almost have completely taken over the market cap of silver. I think Bitcoin is part of that metric. And then also the entire cryptocurrency market for the value of gold, yada, 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 etc., etc. So here's one of the first reasons attributed as to the reason as to why Bitcoin went up, which is still kind of weird because Bitcoin still should have passed by its previous all-time high just based off of this news. Nothing else, which is even also kind of weird because anyway, the point is, it says as expected, the Federal Open Market Committee, or FOMC, voted to keep interest rates at low levels. While continuing repo operations of at least $120 billion of bond purchases on a monthly basis. Monthly billion. In the meeting, the committee also expected core inflation levels to rise, which is nonsense because I'll show you exactly. Of course, it's going to. I can show you something that you can readily find yourself on the internet by typing in about 15 letters, forecasting a long-run inflation rate of 2%. The normal yearly inflation rate on a normal year is normally around 2%. I'll show you why. No. The economic recovery from 19 and expansion of the money supply are 2 major forecast factors that will influence inflationary forces in the future. We had this news already from the Fed a couple of weeks ago, which I find it kind of weird that we're getting this news again. And then even more so, we had it about 3 or 4 months. Talk really fast. We also had this news around 3 to 4 months ago, where the Fed told us that at least until the end of 2023, the beginning of 2024, that they are going to keep interest rates at 0 to 0.25%. And there was a lot of calls for a negative interest rate. And when you get that, it's because the economy is garbage. It's trash. And the indication that they're going to leave rates this way until the end of 2024 means that they're expecting a non-economic recovery until around that time, with a hope that things get slightly better. We also had news before. This is why I said I think people forget way too easily. We had news before from the Fed that they were going to be purchasing all, billions of dollars worth of bonds monthly. And we also had the news that they were going to be purchasing securities as well. And I think potentially equities as well, in order to keep the stock market looking like it was afloat. This is why I said last year and still this year, I was like, something's wrong with the stock market. Like, we only see like tech stocks really rising and everything else has these like really weird rates are continuously falling. But these very few stocks were keeping the entire market afloat. So it's one gigantic farce, and it should not, the stock market should have been obliterated at this point so that we can basically restart from zero but you can't make your stock market look like it's falling apart, because that then causes all the other ones to tumble, and then people lose confidence in you, yada 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 yada. So once again, you can find this yourself. This is not insider information. This is not anything like woo 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 kind of thing. It's more so you can use your search engine and type in M1 money supply. M1 money US dollars, US M1 money chart. You can find it quite easily. This is the circulating dollars within the United States. That's what the M1 money supply implies. As you can see around here, here's the normal rate of inflation, give or take. And then around this time, around 2014, 15, 16 is when we started having actual discussions about the US dollar. Why is inflation picking up? Like what's all going on over there? And that's when we started getting the first indications that, long story short, this is when Bitcoin first started like really pumping in price in the very beginning, because people were looking at the US dollar and going, well, that looks like a problem. Do you see anywhere in the chart where it gets kind of weird? Where it kind of bucks the trend? Yeah, it's here. Yeah, it's around 2020. Look at this. And now look at this. And this line right here is dramatic. Like this is basically like 79 degrees at this point of an angle, compared to like the little bit that we've been going around here. This is the M1 money supply for the US dollar. This is why people are like, oh, snaps, the US dollar is inflating, because we have these charts. They're readily available. Like, it's no longer a discussion. And then the actual real problem is that when you print this much money, we've seen many other countries, their money supply completely turn into dust, like actual into the air. Because what happens is when you print too much money, you devalue, see all this? You devalue all that other money that you printed before. And then what happens is, because you've devalued this much, you need to start printing more money. Because you print more money to pay off your debts, to pay for other things you probably shouldn't be paying for in the first place, the other money that you printed continues to lose its value. So then you have to print more money to try and catch up to it. This is since the beginning of the year. Look at this line. This entire line is just 2020. This is the beginning of the year. It's probably going to be somewhere around here, just, logically looking at the actual chart, because I do not personally believe that the US Fed government anything is going to be like, wait, everyone stop printing. Let's make a good economic policy. It's not, I know some of you chuckled, maybe, because we know that it's never going to actually happen. So that's the M1 money supply. And we know that the US dollar is being devalued. There was somebody who wrote something yesterday on Twitter. They were like, your fears are overblown. The US dollar is not being inflated. And I was like, are we looking at the same charts? Do you have the same internet that I do? Maybe you have some other internet where they're showing you money from 2002. Anyway, on top of that, a lot of Bitcoin price predictions are floating around. A lot of people talking about where Bitcoin's going to go. We're getting the classic 80 to 100,000 by June, July, somewhere around that time frame. It does seem realistic. We should have already been there before. Just throwing that out there, simply because of everything that's been going on. Of course, a lot of altcoin news, altcoin price news. The prices are pumping across the entire cryptocurrency market. I think Cardano recently just passed its previous all-time high, and now apparently set to break $1.50 on a classic triangle breakout pattern. You can replace the word Cardano with XRP, with Litecoin, with any other coin, any other altcoin, and you'll find the exact same news floating around as well. It's expected that the market is going to try and pass by Bitcoin's previous all-time high. That was 61,900, I believe, like about a week, 10 days ago or something like that. After our little pullback. What's this one? This is also attributed to the idea as well as to why prices have gone back up. It's the idea for the stimulus. we should well be above 100K at this point. And I know I've said that the last 7 videos, but that's because every single video has been at least 30 to 40 minutes. When I like finally hit stop and I look at the length of the video, that's how I know. And we've seen that every single video has been like mass adoption of Bitcoin. Like, it's never like a smidge. It's never like a little. It's always like this company's buying millions, hundreds of millions, $500 million worth of Bitcoin. This is being integrated. This is being so-and-so. Like, the news that we just got yesterday was that Visa is officially integrating Bitcoin. And we heard from MasterCard a couple of weeks ago that they're also looking into it. And Bitcoin was like, I'll go up by 1%. And I'm like, huh. So anyway, that's all the price news, if you will. The market's doing fairly well. Let's hope that it continues. I would like if more logic got into our market because it's... You understand. Anyway, that's all the price news. We haven't even gotten to like the actual stuff yet. There's so much happening within this market. It's nuts. Let's move on. Next up, in one of the most popular news stories of the millennia, apparently, Grayscale Investments, the world's largest digital asset manager, is digging into the world of DeFi. They apparently are going to have 5 new trusts starting on Wednesday. So I guess this was in the past. It's going to be Chainlink, BAT, Mana, Filecoin, and LivePeer. So you know how I feel about many altcoins. It is what it is. We had indications before. Does it have an actual list here? Yeah, that they're looking into adding many different coins. I assume it just has to do with whatchamajaggers, the general interest in the market. We know that a lot of people are trying to get into the DeFi space right now. It says we may soon see trusts for Aave, Cosmos, Polkadot, Monero, and Cardano if other filings are followed through. I think Polkadot is probably more than a given. I just feel it in the air for some reason. Polkadot has gained immense amount of popularity and kind of maintained its position over the last couple of months. Anyway, yeah, Grayscale's adding new coins to their trusts, and a lot of people are quite excited about this news. On top of that, this is another Grayscale thing. Grayscale has purchased another 10,000 Ether. It says as price flirts around $1,800, well, Address is holding strong. I'm not really... Grayscale just continues to buy all the time. I didn't even know this was actually happening. There's apparently, like, I think they stopped their Bitcoin trust or put it on pause, or I don't know exactly what the thing is. I think it has something to do with an SEC filing. So saith the internet. But part of the news was that they had purchased more Ethereum, and therefore everyone completely lost their minds. But I think those are their 2 major coins now. I don't know the exact percentage. Do they have a chart? Oh, this kind of works. Bitcoin, I think, constitutes, what is it, like 80% or 90% of their actual portfolio. And then it's Ethereum is also there. And then the other coins kind of take a little smidge of it. But I assume by the end of this year, as large as Grayscale has gotten, they're probably going to have a good 25 coins a part of their trust. Just kind of guessing. I don't even know if I have it in this video. I'm looking at the tabs. I don't think so. We're getting a lot of once again, it's 2017, so we're getting a lot of flippening news again. Why does history rhyme or repeat itself, or whatever phrase you like to use? It's very weird, because roughly about 2 more months in 2017, so like June, July, is when all that like flippening news started happening. There's a lot of news that a lot of people think that Ethereum is going to, in the near future or in like this year, like surge dramatically and surge so much that Bitcoin can't keep up, and therefore Ethereum could become the #1 coin. I think it was Vitalik who said it first, and then someone else said it, and it's kind of like, okay, let's just get to 2000 first, and then we'll be able to see. But a lot of flippening news popping up all over again. Another Grayscale investment trust, etc., etc. What's this one? So that's all the Grayscale news. A lot of people are very happy. These coins like pumped immediately after we got this news. I think the real thing will be when we actually hear the numbers from Grayscale. I think they update people every week or so on their Twitter where they say like, hey, we had this amount of inflow into this trust and we had this amount of inflow. So when we start hearing the actual numbers, because if some of these coins are getting like 1.5 million, it's not going to really do a lot. But if someone's buying like 45 million per week, then that has an effect. Anyway, that's the Grayscale news. And let's move on. Once again, it is 2017, and I'm not sure how we got stuck in this loop. Tax season is almost upon crypto users based in the United States. And even if they plan on keeping their digital assets or assets digital, non-fungible token buyers might not be off scot-free. Now, once again, this is a mimic of 2017. According to a CNBC report, people who use the profits from their crypto holdings to purchase NFTs will likely have to pay capital gains tax of up to 20% when filing their U.S. taxes. Do you want to know why? Because the U.S. does not declare cryptocurrencies to be currencies. They are commodities, or they are securities, or they are bababadies, or they are whatever the word that they decide to use. And the idea is that this is why a lot of people are fighting within the United States right now, pretty much saying, hey, if I'm using my crypto to buy a candy bar, why do I have to pay taxes on the transaction? It's because the U.S. decides that if you are swapping your crypto into into the U.S. dollar, then therefore you have to pay some type of a tax for it. And apparently that swap indicates for any type of swap out of crypto into crypto or from crypto to crypto. And therefore, they said collectors who are buying NFTs with their cryptocurrency gains could face large tax bills this year for deals that most probably thought were tax-free. They probably should be because, just logic. The IRS considers crypto a capital asset, not a currency. And if you exchange crypto for any other asset, you immediately recognize a capital gain or loss. Now, once again, why is this very similar to 2017 is because once again, I think, and I don't know if this makes sense, it should. It's currently March, got it. But we are currently in June in 2017. If you were to merge the timelines together, that if you've ever seen Terminator or anything like that, it should make a lot of sense to you. Mainly because, hold on. Yeah, those buying NFTs with Bitcoin or Ether may face tax surprise. It's with any crypto. It's any cryptocurrency. First of all, here's the actual tweet for it right here from Squawk Box, where they're discussing it. It's a 2-minute long video. This is an article from June 2017. ICOs had completely started going insane. I think we had about 5 or 6 of them that actually had, been birthed. But by the summertime, we had about 100. And this is when all the celebrities started coming out saying, hey, ICO, you buy ICO, you love ICO. Look at me, I buy ICO, which is also a mimic of right now. Same thing. It's the same exact time. It's really freaky. Where we're getting all the celebrities creating their own NFTs. In 2017, they were creating their own ICOs or creating their own coins. Now they're creating their own NFTs in their likeness or their image. It's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. It's the idea that there's this new thing. Celebrities get into it. Everyone starts, falling over themselves. New thing, celebrities falling over themselves, yada, yada, selling digital versions of their toenails or whatever these people are selling as NFTs right now. But then by June, we started getting indications of something called a security. And people were like, no, I feel pretty safe. I don't need any security. And then that's when the SEC really poked their head into the cryptocurrency space and said, yeah, these things are deemed securities. And that's when we started having conversations of what a security was, how a security was, and all the other things. You kind of get it. So we are at the time frame where we're in June. I'm telling you, we're in June 2017, where NFTs, ICOs have gotten so hot that regulators are now poking their head into the space. This is an article from July 2017. It said the SEC is throwing a damper on Ethereum madness, and they're going to do the exact same thing on the NFT space. Do you want to know why? You want to know why? You want to know why? It's mainly because of money. How many times have you seen a video or a news something or something on the internet where these people are talking about, I saw one the other day where this guy bought a piece of digital art for, I think, $900, and he made a video and was like, oh, it's now worth $300,000. Once first, that's bubble. I really hope he sold. And the second part is that if he did sell, or if he just simply took out that ether and swapped it into another coin, Uncle Sam and Aunt Samula won a piece of their pie as well. So this is a be wary story. If you are into the NFT space, I hope you're writing everything down and or calculating everything, because I do not want anyone here to get in trouble. But the tax man cometh, as it were. And once we end up getting I don't think the NFT space is done. I think we have until mainly the end of this year when we kind of really hit the high point, and then prices kind of collapse because it's not sustainable. No one's going to be. I'm already seeing YouTube videos of people unable to sell the things that they've purchased because they assumed it was going to go higher. Just wanted to throw that out there because I am certain that the other channels who are hyping up NFTs are not going to tell you about this, because why would they? That lowers the view count on their videos and also lowers the value of their NFTs. So just be aware of all this that's happening. Anyway, that's the NFT news. And what's this one? Let's move on. Now, this should have added a good $12,000 to Bitcoin's price. Morgan Stanley is not a small bank. Morgan Stanley is not a small institution. Morgan Stanley is not your everyday run-of-the-mill, financial institution. This news alone should have caused Bitcoin's price to rise by 10 to 12,000. The inflation news should have given us a good 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,000 as well. And then we're still not even done. Morgan Stanley, the American banking giant, has become the latest financial institution to start offering a Bitcoin fund to its institutional clients. Institutional means rich. The banking giant would offer 3 funds to its clients to help them gain exposure to Bitcoin. 2 of these funds on offer are from Galaxy Digital, and the third is a joint effort from asset manager FS Investments and Bitcoin company New York Dig. Morgan Stanley announced on Wednesday in an internal memo. I love the cryptocurrency space. We always get news like this, like these things happen and someone's like, hey, psst, look at this. Like it's happened so many times. Like it happened the other time when JP Morgan first came out and said that they thought that this year, 2021, that Bitcoin could hit, I think, $300,000. That was also internal. That was only to be shared amongst their richest clients, and it got leaked to us as well. Morgan Stanley announced internal memo sent out to its financial advisors. The banking giant has over $4 trillion worth of assets under management, and this new Bitcoin fund would be available to its wealthy clients only. Now, remember when I said, if you've been here all this time, hello, I don't know, I mean, welcome, hello. I mentioned years ago, I said Bitcoin is going to get so large that it is only going to be for the wealthy. We are currently at the point right now where all that has come true. I mentioned before in another video, I said when we were talking about exactly how much Bitcoin you had to have to be either part of the 1% or the elite or having more than anyone else on the planet, whatever the actual discussion was. We are at the point where Bitcoin's price has become completely unobtainable for about 90% of the world's population. The idea of owning a tenth of a Bitcoin is also a bit insane because not many people can simply go to their bank account and say, well, I have $5,000 to have a tenth of a Bitcoin. Same exact thing goes for 0.01 of a Bitcoin. I told you last year and the year before, we would only start seeing banks tell their clients. Now this is the upper crust of the client. to get into Bitcoin once its price had been, had kind of gotten extremely high. The idea being that it now looks attractive to have. Bitcoin at 4,000, it's kind of okay. Bitcoin at 25,000, I think I might get into it. Bitcoin at 60,000, well, that's unobtainable for a large amount of the world. That's when it becomes its own huge asset class. All these banks are now only offering these services to their wealthy clients, not to the rich, to the wealthy, the people who can easily throw around 2 million and say, well, I mean, it's a drop in the pool. It does absolutely nothing to me. The next step, which is going to happen, hear me say these words, is in about a year or two. When Bitcoin's price is around, so saith JP Morgan and Citibank and Plan B, $300,000 to $600,000, once again, so saith them. When Bitcoin has become unobtainable for 99% of people, that's when you are going to go to your bank and you are going to start to see advertisements from your bank on the wall saying, hey, have you invested in Bitcoin? Open a new Bitcoin savings account today. That's when it's going to happen. The fact that I think people need to see that, like actually physically see it in 2 years, is mind-boggling to me. Because if you don't have an indication at this point that they're buying all the Bitcoin, do you think Morgan Stanley is offering this to their clients without owning Bitcoin themselves? Yeah, you can keep it here. No, we don't own any Bitcoin. I'm sorry. My dog has half of one. He got it on Reddit last year. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Door's right there. No, they're buying this themselves. Of course they are. So the firm said that the new Bitcoin fund would be suitable for people with an aggressive risk tolerance who have at least $2 million in assets held by the firm. Investment firms need at least $5 million at the bank to qualify for the stakes. So this is pretty large news. It should have been, like, this alone should have, the fact that when we heard years ago that Fidelity got into the cryptocurrency, it was Fidelity, New York Stock Exchange, and NASDAQ at the same exact time, and I think Bitcoin's price fell that day. I was like, okay, well, there's just no damn logic here, is there? Here is the actual news story from CNBC. Morgan Stanley becomes the first big U.S. bank to offer its wealthy clients access to Bitcoin funds. They are not going to be the last. They are not going to be the last. They are not going to be the last one to do that. Morgan Stanley offering Bitcoin, money, money, money. Morgan Stanley enabling money, 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 Bitcoin, money, money, money. So that's the Morgan Stanley news. That's another reason why Bitcoin's price should have popped. Bitcoin's price has only gone up by, once again, 3 to 4% after all the news I just gave you. Little weird. We should have definitely gone over $70,000, but according to the charts and the analyzers, they're all saying that that's apparently in the cards relatively soon. Anyway, that's the Morgan Stanley news. And let's get into the actual news that people were writing was the actual reason as to why Bitcoin popped up in price. Once again, all that stuff we just spoke about was allegedly not the reason. Right. Chinese firm Metoo, doesn't matter, recently announced another crypto investment, buying an additional 16,000 Ether and 386 Bitcoin worth $21 million. This was the reason I kept on seeing everywhere as to why Bitcoin went up in price. This purchase. Not everything else, but because of Metoo. The firm has accrued a net purchase of $90 million worth of crypto shortly after buying Ether and Bitcoin on the 5th of March. That was the first time we heard about them. The company made the additional purchase through Miracle Vision, a subsidiary of Metoo, aligned with their cryptocurrency investment plan. The main goal is reaching a net value or purchase value of $100 million worth of crypto using their cash reserves, so the company could soon add another $10 million. I'm not sure if the news is that we got indications 10 days ago that Changpeng Zhao said that Chinese companies are definitely buying Bitcoin, but they're simply not saying it out loud. Metoo has announced it out loud, and therefore that's an indication that other ones are also mimicking them or doing the exact same thing? I'm not sure. I don't really know what the actual thing is. However, this is it. This was the reason on multiple websites that it said because this company bought Bitcoin, that's why prices went up by 3%. I could easily see a 1% rise in price from this kind of news, but all the other news that we got, we should have, a 15% pump in price right now. Anyway, that's the Metoo news. Not joking. That was it. Is that? No. Okay, yeah. And without further ado, let's move on because there's still more news. There's a lot of news. This is, and once again, I have enough news today to probably make 4 videos. I'm not going to do that to my body, but there's so much happening all at once at the exact same time. This is this much of the actual news that came out. You don't understand how crazy things are right now. And Bitcoin still only goes up by 3%. Let's move on. Next up, the explosive growth of Bitcoin and the overall crypto market has swayed some of the biggest banking giants in recent times. As per the latest report by Forbes, JP Morgan is preparing for a Bitcoin and a crypto clearinghouse option. What? I can't believe that. That's insane. While the crypto market has registered unprecedented gains over the last decade, it still remains relatively immature. Sure, why not? Before making any trade, traders still need to deposit funds with over-the-counter trading desks and exchanges. This brings additional risks for the traders, while the over-the-counter desks are forced to look after the crypto custody. The clearinghouse options will serve as a middleman between traders and over-the-counter desks. I've seen a lot of people in the comment section asking many times. There was a company who was doing something similar to this. They're not as big as JP Morgan, and they were like, why would I do that? I could just send crypto myself. It's because of regulations. The regulatory world believes that there always should be a middleman and therefore someone to put the blame on should your funds go away. That's just how it works. That's just, I know that, first of all, it's not that the system doesn't make sense, that the system is already terrible, so there's no real logic inside of it, but it's a way for companies to be able to say, hey, we are trusted. You can trust your coins with us. You send from A, we are B, and it goes to C, but B also takes a fee, and the fee being the security and clarity of knowing that your money went to JP Morgan and is therefore safe, as opposed to, logically, it can just go directly from A to C without having to touch B, because that's how cryptocurrency and money in general actually works. These clearinghouses will ensure the enforcement of trade while creating liquidity in the market, which is also another really big thing. The idea is that now we know that Bitcoin is going to continue to be used, but people want to be able to say that this money is directly flowing through some type of a market. The more indications that we get of liquidity, the stronger our market becomes. Besides, if either party defaults, the house guarantees payments will ensure, while ensuring that trading desks are able to handle the order. Speaking to Forbes, JP Morgan said, we will fundamentally need a crypto clearinghouse to see that liquidity. Once that exists, banks will move their liquidity to it. Cryptocurrency brokers and exchanges need to avoid the kind of liquidity problems that trading app Robinhood ran into. So that's a very interesting thing to put at the end of a sentence. And I realized immediately exactly why they were saying it. I believe this is it right here. Here are the statistics for Robinhood's revenue. It was reported that last year that Robinhood made an enormous amount of money from cryptocurrency. And I mean, a massive amount of money was generated in profits from people trading cryptocurrencies on their platform back and forth. Remember, I told you that once years ago, I forgot who the first couple of companies were who got into the space. This was before PayPal. Once we start getting indications and the numbers of how much money these companies are making, banks sit there, smack themselves on the head and go, we should have been in a couple of years ago as well. You're generating hundreds of millions of dollars worth of profit from basically doing nothing. You have to make sure that the API is nice and the user experience is this and so and so and so, but people are trading back and forth and you get paid from it. What does it mean to a bank when their profit margins are already going down, someone creates an app or multiple apps or a website. Same exact thing that happened with Binance and BitMEX and all these other platforms. Why do you think they were targeted? Why do you think they are currently still being targeted? It's because the people at the very top are usually the banks. And the banks basically own everything. I don't, and that's not a joke. That's not like the banks own everything. No, they actually do own everything. They have the 25% stakes in nearly everything, if not 100% stake in some sort of way. So what happens when A, B, C, D, E, and F have a business that you don't have, that you didn't want to get into? It's a farce. It's a so-and-so. It's not going to happen. And these people make tons of money. Well, you start downplaying them. You know, you saw what happened to them, right? Let's make sure that never, ever happens to you again. You know why? Because we now have the platform and you can spend your money here. Robinhood generated $682 million in payment for order flow revenue in 2020, a 514% increase year on year. What does that mean to you if you're a bank? That means you could have made that $682 million, but you didn't. You know what that looks like on a bank's balance sheet when you can say, we made an app. We allow people to trade stocks and Bitcoin and Dogecoin, hundreds of millions of dollars. That's why I was like, it's kind of weird that he threw in that Robinhood thing. It's meant to be like a kind of a dagger into the wall or into the heart, wherever you throw your daggers. Basically saying, you know, they're garbage. Let us do it. And this is going to continue to happen. The same exact thing. What was the news from like 4 days ago about Binance and U.S. regulators? Do you think it actually has to do with Binance offering securities or commodities? No, it's about money. Binance is already larger than Coinbase. Look at the amount of money that investors have put into Coinbase for years. Binance came out of nowhere and took the #1 spot. They allow everyone on the planet to use them, but you can't do that because they're borders. You see, like when you look on the ground, there's a line. There's a line here. So when you cross over that street, you're in another country, so you need to have regulations for that. The old world is old. I don't really know how else to put it. Maybe it's because I grew up in a time where everything was on the computer, everything was digital, and we understand that if I want to, even as a child, if I want to talk to somebody in Japan, I can do it instantaneously. If I want to send money or value or video game or something or a song, you download it. You send it to someone else, it's instantaneous. Well, at least now it's closer to instantaneous as opposed to... Anyway, it added $3.4 billion to its balance sheet during the GameStop stock squeeze. So the news is JP Morgan is clearly into Bitcoin. Assumption that they're buying massive swaths of Bitcoin. Same exact thing with Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, who indicated in 2016 or 17 that they might get into the cryptocurrency space. They're probably here. All the major stock exchanges, all the banks around the world, all the pension funds, all the hedge funds, they're all into it. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. It's more of a sure, why not thing. New participants in the Bitcoin network are growing at an unprecedented rate. This was said by JP Morgan. Funny that they would want to get into the... Why? I mean, why? I mean, you know, not like they're going to make money or something. It's funny and fascinating how time works. And the really weird part is that we are still in the early adoption phase. I see a lot of people asking questions like, am I late? Is there any reason for me to actually get into this? We haven't seen what's actually coming. We are, what was it, $58,000 per Bitcoin right now? We're not even at $500,000 yet, which we are going to get to. And then at that point, you know the story. Once we get to $500,000 Bitcoin, $1 million is in the cards. How many times, listen, if they're buying up all the Bitcoin and JP Morgan and Citibank have estimated, I think by 2022 or 2023, that Bitcoin's price could be anywhere from 300,000 to 600,000. Where's Bitcoin's price in 2028 or 2032? How high have we gone? It's very early days. People get deterred by looking at Bitcoin's price, but it's the same exact thing years ago. You could look at Bitcoin's price at 800. Imagine. It's 2016. Someone tells you, hey, I have a number on the screen. You want to buy it? What? This number on the screen, you can buy it for $800. No, I think you're crazy. The idea of an $800 Bitcoin sounds like I would love to buy an $800 Bitcoin. But when Bitcoin was actually $800, very few people bought it. It seems a little overpriced. Wasn't it like $80 2 years ago? I'll wait till the price falls back down. Bitcoin goes up to 10,000. I don't really have 10,000 to put into that. You can buy like a fragment of it. I remember seeing something online where they said Bitcoin was going back down to 3,000. I think I'll wait. I'm going to wait a bit. I'll definitely buy in then. Bitcoin goes up to 30,000. So I remember looking online and they were talking about like a bubble for Bitcoin. So maybe when the bubble pops, that's when I'll buy back in. Bitcoin hit 60,000. It's still kind of, it's going to continue. And I know that everything I'm saying right now, like a lot of you are having this like aha moment because that's what happens. People were asking me before, like if I, what's it called? Money average, simple average. Oh gosh, the word has escaped me. Money cost average into the market. I'm like, no, like I don't try to time anything. I just continuously absorb, as it were. Like I mean, if you haven't watched my other video, I basically said I'll use the F word, frugal, if you want to say that. I learned it as a very dirty word when I was a kid. Not explicitly like a curse word, but it was more like if someone was frugal, they're cheap. It's the nicest way of kind of saying that. I spend all my money on investments. After I've paid for my land fees, my HOA, and all the other things like that, and food, and the necessaries, and the healthcare, and the yada yada, I buy nothing. I don't treat myself. I have what I have. I won't even tell you how much my coat costs because I think that people would just kind of leave. Anyway, the point is, I invest everything I have into investments. It's kind of a, I use the word hobby, but it's more of an obsession at this point. So just understand, we are still at the very beginning of all of this. All of it. We haven't even begun to see exactly how large this is going to be. We are going to heed my words warning. We are going to get to a point where 0.01 Bitcoin is going to be worth $5,000. And someone's going to come up to you or come up to your friend and say, hey, I have this number on the screen and you can pay $5,000 for that amount. And people around the world are still going to go, it seems too expensive. Not understanding. Did you not see this chart? The US dollar is basically done. Like not fake done. Like it's like actually done. Remember the video I had on weird on stable coins where I was like, this is it losing its value. That's the interest rate that you get from a bank. It was 0.02% if you lock your money away for 5 years in a certificate of deposit or a CD. And I was like, if you transferred that into a stable coin, you're getting 7%. Anyway, so that's the JP Morgan, that's the Metoo, that's the Morgan Stanley, that's the, what else was there? That's the Grayscale news, that's the inflation news and the interest rate news and the printing of money news to be able to push into the stock market to make it look like everything is still normal news. That's why sometimes at the ends of videos, like when I see like an altcoin has gone up by 38%, I'm like, are people not hearing the actual news for Bitcoin? It confuddles me many a time. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University. I think I know how to pronounce this, but I'm going to say it both ways. It says crypto 8,500,000 heap, but I assume that's supposed to be crypto black sheep. So that's how I'm going to say it. AJ Cut 5, Speedy 655, and Carlos was like, Mo Barazzi, Jojo Shaw Show, VB Nerd 21, Miguel Grolet, Lauren De Silva, Quoted Biddy, Barebones Mining, Troy, all good. Space Case, Space Case, why'd I say it that way? Need a Miracle, Crypto Stahl, Pattern Noster, Conan Don't Skip Leg Day, Snacky Chan, Tolik Banan, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila Dahan, Yasha Harari, Oscar Maldonado, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Stoyer, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, Ibibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Moher Maroney, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Damien, Setsuna, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Munn, Gialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Test, Everyday, and Kyle Skips Leg Day, Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Arfmedic 17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigara Machonisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Thank you all very, 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 very much for your support. Thank you to all the new Patreon members. Hello. Thank you to everyone who left a like. Thank you to everyone who left a comment or multiple comments. Thank you to all the new subscribers. A lot more every single day. Hello, 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 hello. And thank you to everyone who's still here listening to my voice. At the moment, Bitcoin is currently at $58,392. It is up by 6.48%. It's like a lull. Is currently where we are. I assume we hit 59,000 most definitely somewhere around this area. Ethereum is up by 3%. Cardano is up by 17% on the Coinbase listing news. And I assume also as well because in 13 days, we will have full decentralization on the Cardano network, which also coins lock up. Binance Coin is up by 9.5%. Polkadot is up by 3%. A lot of these coins pumped up rather quickly off of the potential news of the Grayscale listing. XRP is up by 2%, Litecoin's up by 3%, Chainlink is up by 8.9%. Once again, here was the run-up from the Grayscale news. Theta is up by 10%, Chain Token's up by 15%, sure, why not at this point. Filecoin is up by 26%, sure, why not at this point. Cosmos is up by 12%, VeChain Thor is up by 11%. Monero is up by 4%. FTT tokens up by 7%. Solana is up by 8%. Algorand is up by a smidge below 14%. Chiliz, the coin we all love, is up by 24%. Tezos is up by 11%. Neo is up by 11%. Kusama is up by 12%. Hedera bar hash graph bar graph is up by 18%. Engine coin is up by 15%. Synthetics is up by 6%. Graph is up by 7%. Yeah, pretty good day in the market. We should hopefully get an indication of some actual real movement in the relative near future. I wonder if people just simply don't get all the news, or what news is considered more important to people than other forms of news. Like, I find all that news pretty important, but apparently most of the market didn't enough for Bitcoin to only go up by a couple percentage. Anyway, I do hope that you all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. I'm going to try and make another video. I'm a little tired. I keep waking up like really, really early. I think it's maybe the longer days already. Like the sun is, I don't even know, but I keep waking up extremely early. And then I'm all tired like. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.